Mic check, 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 check. Mic check. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to the Muslims. I'm trying to elevate, and this is between fear and hope. Um, so I just wanted to do a quick stream, trying to be more consistent. Uh, my topic today is being fake the new real, right? You got a lot of people that's everybody keeping it real nowadays. Ain't nobody fake. If you ask people, you know what I'm saying, like, are you keeping it real? They might be offended because who not keeping it real nowadays, right? Um, it's almost like offensive to to assume that somebody not keeping it real. You know what I mean? But I think that we all know that that's not the case. We all know that's not the case. Everybody not keeping it real. If everybody was keeping it real, then there wouldn't be no need to say you keeping it real, right? So I'm hoping that this won't be a quick one, right? Um, I created this channel to talk about, and I named it Between Fear and Hope because I'm hoping that we can be honest about being balanced individuals. Like one of the concepts of Islam is being balanced, right? And this is not a concept. You don't have to be a Muslim to understand this concept. Um, we should all live our life as being balanced, and staying between fear and hope is a way to keep yourself balanced. You can use any scenario, right? If you are afraid of being fake or you feel fear being fake, then you should humble yourself, right? And you should hope that people perceive you as being real in that humble state. You know what I mean? We fear going to the hellfire. We hope that we go to Jannah, right? And not Jahannam, just the hellfire. And that all comes from being humble. I see a lot of men who are now running to surgeries, uh, basically imitating everything that the women do, right? And this is when you have a failed society. This is what a failed society looks like, right? This is one of the reasons why America wants to keep us detached as black men and black women. It's not just a black woman, black man thing. It's a woman man thing. It's American man and woman thing, because the further detached we are, the further we are from quote unquote anarchy, right? We're not going we can't focus on fixing the ills of society if we are distracted with pointing out each other's flaws, right? There's so many things wrong with today's world where the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that Islam would came as something strange and it will return to something strange. It definitely has returned to that, right? But it's not just within Islam. If you look at the world, right, I seen a meme earlier that said it's crazy that having food that you grown for as like a salad which grows from the earth, or fruit which grows from the earth is considered a diet, as opposed to eating things that are come in packages, you know, or that, basically processed foods. And that's real, man. Our food is under attack, and we're so busy, we're so distracted that we don't even realize that we don't even realize the issue. You know what I'm saying? It's a very sad issue. Sorry, I had to turn it up a little bit. Um, so being fake, right? Everything is fake in our environment. The food is fake. We got the GMOs. The people are fake. You know what I'm saying? Like, even when you look at the entertainment industry, right? You got music stars. They renting mansions and cars to make their videos, jewelry, all these different things, but they have convinced us somehow that they the realest in the game. I'm the realest nigga in it. Y'all already know. Got trapped in the year 2 times in a row. You know what I mean? That's old. I don't listen to new music, so I can't quote nothing new. But you know what I'm saying? And then we are attracted, especially as men, or older men, we are attracted to entertainers who keep it real. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like the ones that live out their raps. They're very sure that this is entertainment. They're very certain that this is entertainment, is only entertainment, and it don't need to go anything else. And it don't need to go any further than this. You know what I'm saying? But the youth, not so much. The youth, they want to live out those raps, and that's what's destroying us, right? The 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 powers that be are very happy with us adopting a fake lifestyle because they are able to sell us certain conveniences that allow for us to have more time, it would seem like. Let me give you an example, because let me give you an example, right? I'm gonna sell you a TV dinner that you can just pop in a microwave so that you can go back to business. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm gonna sell you this 5 hour energy so you can have energy to go back to business, right? Especially now, a lot of people getting money. The internet makes so many millionaires. When social media first became a thing, it was making millionaires every day. I forgot what the statistics was, but the internet in its infancy made, on average, um, I forget, I don't know, messed up the statistic, but it was like 100 millionaires a day or something like that, or 10 millionaires a day, 100 millionaires a week or something like that, which is astronomical. But the whole thing about that is the money is fake. You know what I'm saying? So why do you think that, like, you can give a basketball player millions and millions of dollars, right? And you can give a teacher nothing. They barely making it because it's not important to educate your kids. But the society will have us think that we are that they have our best interests at hand, right? Oh, we put fluoride in your water because there was so many dental issues, and this is good for your teeth. But meanwhile, I can smoke, I can go buy cigarettes, I can go buy liquor, I can go buy all of these different things. You put pesticides on the food, it's destroying this. Monsanto's just had to pay out something astronomical for, the pesticides that they were poisoning people. You got pesticides in the water, um, you got jet fuel in the water, you got hormones in the water, and the water is basically so corrupted that you have to then go and buy clean water. You see what I'm saying? And in America, the life expectancy, we're the most technologically advanced place in the world, but the life expectancy here is trash. You know that I think for a man it's like 60, and for a woman, for like a man it's like late 50s, and for a woman it's like early 60s, right? But meanwhile, in other places where these quote unquote third world countries, you got people living to almost 100. And why do you think that is? It's because we have adopted a fake lifestyle, right? I'm kind of getting off topic, my bad. But I wanted to talk about the men who constantly criticize women, right? And then go out and do the same thing. And that's a hypocrite. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of men are very vocal about, women getting surgeries. Now, keep in mind, I'm totally against all of these surgeries. I'm just like every other man. We don't like the BBLs, not even the ones that are not outrageous. We would prefer natural. We would prefer natural eyelashes. We would prefer natural hair. We would prefer natural altogether bodies. I would prefer a naturally shaped big girl than an artificially shaped, quote unquote, dime, I would say, right? Now I'm married, so I wouldn't. It doesn't really matter to me. As a Muslim, we don't put all our eggs in one basket. Let me say that. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to search for somebody that's just solely on the looks, even though that's permissible. You know what I'm saying? Because we understand that the importance of who you choose as a spouse is goes way beyond the physical. You know, this is going to be the person who educates your child. This is going to be the person that turns your house into a home. This is going to be the person that nurtures that home, makes you feel good about coming home every day, makes you feel good about going out every day to work and to earn. You know what I'm saying? Of all of the things that the Prophet ﷺ loved in this world, what a few things that he loved in this world, I should say, the woman was one of them. And I think most men can agree that there's nothing better than a good woman, you know, especially a good black woman, you know. So we've been real critical of women, and many times they're just doing what they want from us. You know, I saw, I want to pull it up, Dr. Umar, Dr. Umar, just recently he did a post that I want to kind of talk about. And keep in mind, I don't necessarily agree with everything that he said. I don't agree with everything that anybody says, because we have to get out of the we have to get out of the we have to get out of the mindset that if somebody says something that you don't agree with, that they are wrong, or that they are I thought I had it right up on here, but oh no, it's my watch. Yeah, it's my watch history. I watched it. It was a short. Oh, that was Instagram. That's why. All right. Yeah, I can't even pull it up. But Dr. Umar was saying that, you know, it's mostly our fault that the women are going running out getting these surgeries, and I don't agree wholeheartedly with that. I think that they are grown. They're making a decision based on what they think is best for them. But I do agree that we have completely allowed, and we've done it ourselves, the black women to become the most sexualized being on the planet. And we have contributed to it. And because of that, there's a lot of pressure for our women to focus very much so on their bodies, right? Now, this is vanity. We know that vanity is one of the issues that women deal with. This is part of their jihad, and it's social media doesn't make it any better. You know, anytime you are looking at yourself every day that much, you know, every day you wake up, you're taking pictures, and especially if you post it online, you're trying to get the perfect angle. You maybe they have a business, because the women lapping us when it comes to, you know, the social media stuff. And I would argue that it's a lot easier for them because, you know, men are thirsty and they just want to see everything that they can see. Especially you have a large population of men who otherwise won't be able to see these different parts of women without social media. So they will fuel the attention engine that allows women to go from 0 to 10,000 followers overnight. Just from being suggestive, or they don't even have to show much. They can just be suggestive. They can just have a good voice. They can just talk about provocative things. And there is a large group of men that, because they'll never hear that, because they'll never see that, because they are what's called a failure to launch. If you can look that up, failure to launch, right? There's a lot of men that have failure to launch. And the only way that they'll ever get that type of attention is on social media. So it's easy for a woman who has a business to go and post these things. It fuels the engine, and then they're allowed to post a product. That product will reach a lot of different people, and and they're allowed to sell. So you get women that only go to the gym every day and sell stuff, and it might seem like easy. I would say it was easier, but I won't say it's easy because that's hard work. And anytime we do, even if when we do external work on ourselves, it has a benefit internally as well. So a lot of times when men see these women, um, when you see these women, you might think, oh, they're too vain. I don't want to be with nobody like that. But I would say that a woman that goes to the gym several times a week, um, is bound to fight off a lot of the things that make the average woman intolerable. There's no way that you can get up and force yourself to go to the gym and and eat better without having to work on your mental. So, and then men are very visual creatures, so they'll be visually aesthetically pleasing, and eventually, I think they can be emotionally pleasing as well because that work is hard. It might seem like it's not that big of a deal, but if it was easy, everybody would do it. You know what I'm saying? So, um, you got these men going to taking a shortcut. So a lot of the women, they take the shortcut. So it's two different aspects to that. You got the women that get the surgery, and in order to keep the look of the surgery, they have to work out all the time. And then you have the women that from the rip just go with the working out to get their body where they want it. And I admire that. And as a Muslim, alhamdulillah, I wouldn't want that for my wife. But if you're a non-Muslim, I think that a lot of men wouldn't be okay with that either, because today's group of men and women who are in the same bracket are very different. A lot of women want men who make over six figures. A lot of men who work over six figures want a certain type of woman, right? And the women that are on that man's level and the man that is on that woman level probably won't give each other what they want. The woman might want the man to, kind of kiss the ground she walks on, and if she wants that, that will probably come from that would probably have to come from a man who is not on her level, but she don't want that man. So, and the man might want a woman who stays home and takes care of the kids and takes care of the house, but a woman that's on his level not going to want to do that. You know what I mean? She going to want to go out and get that bag. So it's a very complex situation, to say the least. And I think that's one of the main things that are disrupting us in this current time that we in. And we're just at a disconnect. And moving back to the men, right? They're going out, they're getting these surgeries to get to fix correct their baldness. They going out and getting surgeries to increase their manhood. They are going out and getting surgeries, lipo and stuff like that. Kanye keep talking about, the medicine made me fat, and it's a matter of, and then also you got men that are probably were really good dudes until they got money. The test of a man is going to be when he has everything. The test for a woman is going to be when that man has nothing. And a lot of times, these couples end up both failing the test. Even if one person failed the test, it's one of those type of tests that everything comes crumbling down, because the woman, if the woman failed the test, then the man loses. If the man fails the test, then the woman loses. But ultimately, especially if it's kids in that situation, everybody loses. And a part of this, and a part of this, the solution is that we have to get back to just being real with each other and being real with ourselves, right? What do I really need? Not what do I want? What do I really need? Do I need somebody? If if I'm making $200,000 a year, do I really need a man that makes $100,000 a year? Knowing that knowing how the climate is right now is very difficult for especially black men because the society has put us in a position where it makes it very hard for us to compete with our in society, right? We're not competing with our women; we're competing in society, and it's unfortunate because now the woman feels as though since the man can't do anything for her financially, he can't do anything for her at all. Instead of having a mind frame that, you know what, I understand this game, and I have love for this man. Let me show him what I know and pass him the reins. We fear doing that because we fear that somebody is going to use us, and we are right now in a situation in a time frame where people just ain't ish. And part of the reason why we ain't ish is because the food that we put in our body, the food has a direct effect on our behaviors. It's unfortunate, but the food really have an effect on us. You gotta think about the fact that people who are malnourished, how they behave is different. You know what I'm saying? Like you have certain deficiencies. Like if you look up, like the reason why I think some of the reason this is just my thoughts, right? Some of the reason why I think white people and black people are inherently different, and a lot of people, like when you hear people call black people people of the sun, and you call people white people people of um the ice, right? And with them coming from the Neanderthal, black people don't have Neanderthal in them, right? And with the European coming from, the Caucasian, I mean, coming from the Caucasus Mountains, a cold region devoid of, nutrients, and it's like a desert, you know what I'm saying? They had to they had to make tools and kill in order to survive. Whereas though in the sun is the giver of life, right? When you have dry land and a lot of sun, it might seem inhabitable because it's a desert, but things can survive in the desert, and the sun is the key to life. So we became masters of agriculture and farming and growing and nurturing, and I think that's part of the psychology of black people in general, is that we tend to be more giving because we live from abundance. We don't live from scarcity. Whereas though the Caucasian kind of lives from a scarcity mindset, where it's kind of every man for himself. And often you'll see, like, even if you look at today's time, you'll often see like when a Caucasian family is usually mom, dad, children, right? Children get older, go off to school, they don't really come back. You know what I'm saying? They start their own families and they do it over again. They see their grandparents on, holidays occasionally, and, they don't really have a big network of cousins. Whereas though us, we tend to come back, and we tend to keep in touch with our cousins, and we tend to add on additional cousins, and and have large groups of families, second, third generations, and we are just different as people, right? And what we have, and a lot of times when we talk about racism and we talk about black people in the world, we look at it like, oh, black people in the world are disliked or hated, I would say, even. And that's true. But when we look at black Americans, we think that black Americans are despised in the world because we just violent, and we don't have we don't contribute to society, all of these stereotypes, right? But if you look at the depiction of Americans in general and outside of the US, nobody likes Americans. They don't like white Americans either. Americans don't have a good rep because America, which is 90%, well, I won't say 90%, which is majority white for now, is violent. They don't like Americans in general. So we might get the bad rep because they try to put us on the news and they try to make it seem like we are what's wrong with the world. But when people are mad at America, they mad at the government, they mad at the colonization, they're mad at the politics. We get the blame for it, but it's really not even us if you look at it. It's really the typical American. They don't even really consider us Americans. So before you kind of fall into that trap of thinking that, oh, everybody hating on us and think we these violent people. Yeah, they do. But they think that about all Americans. And we need to start shining that light back on the culprits instead of taking the heat, right? But we also need to fix some things, right? So when you giving your kids all these sugary snacks and cakes and hot Cheetos and hugs and, you know what I mean? Sugar is a drug. It's basically a drug. And this leads to a lot of the issues in our community. And this leads to a lot of the issues that Dr. Umar talk about, which is, you know, ADHD and all these other things that they get diagnosed with. We got to be more diligent about learning how to fuel our bodies properly. And I'm going to give a shout out. This dude, he's not Muslim, but he really on it. And now I got my degree in molecular and cellular biology, right, in genetics. This dude right here, man, I learned a lot from him just in a short period of time when it comes to molecular biology. Yaki Awakened. He really got a lot of answers. And one of the reasons I left that field was because, I mean, I'm still in the field, but one of the reasons I lost my passion and I stopped going hard is because I didn't believe a lot of stuff that he was teaching me. And I was thinking like this before, but I didn't have the research that this dude had, man. Because I didn't really believe like viruses and stuff like that. Because, man, when you get down to it, viruses are just proteins. And I ain't gonna go into it, but our diet is causing us to lose on the playing field of society. We live in something called food deserts, where we have the worst food in the nation, right? A lot of times we eating from poppy stores, we eating processed food, we eating processed breads and pastries, and all of this process really devoids it of its nutrients, and it really it really affects every aspect of our lives. And when you look at the fact, a lot of times I used to think, how did the Prophet ﷺ survive off of dates? Just dates and water. Like we it's hard for us to conceptualize the fact that people really didn't eat meat on a regular basis. But even deeper than that, people didn't eat a lot of food on a regular basis. Like the Prophet ﷺ really survived off of dates and water. So that's just food for thought, man. I think I'm gonna try to go a little bit deeper next time, talking about how the food is destroying our children, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.